We have a vision to be net zero carbon by 2050 and have set a Paris-aligned target to reduce emissions by 25% by 2030. And recognizing that climate change impacts not just businesses and communities, but also nature, we have launched our new water security strategy to go further in addressing water challenges for our business and communities, but also the ecosystems that support them.
We are working with partners such as WWF to invest in projects that restore critical ecosystems such as Brazil's Atlantic forest that will help provide water, food security and other co-benefits for local communities.
Our purpose is to create a healthier and more sustainable future for all. So we are accelerating action on climate change with a target to achieve net zero carbon in our operations by 2040. How will we get there? With an ambitious roadmap that includes 100% renewable electricity by 2030, 100% zero waste operations by 2025, and innovations like our first of its kind recyclable tube.
Our own commitments are to reduce our carbon footprint by 50% by 2030, and we aspire to go further and are working on plans to get to net zero.
We recognized early on the importance of conservation and nature-based solutions to climate change, making it a part of our policy to set aside significant tracts of land to increase biodiversity while maximizing ecosystem services like carbon sequestration, pollination, erosion control, and improvements in water quality.
As the world faces the impacts of climate change, food production is at stake. Our goals include spreading the adoption of regenerative farming practices across 7 million acres, improving the livelihoods of those in our agriculture supply chain, and sustainably sourcing 100% of PepsiCo's key ingredients.
At Starbucks, our vision is to become resource positive, to give more than we take from the planet. We've set a science-based carbon target, and that is the minimum that all companies must do for humanity to avoid the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And people are what this crisis is all about. We must focus on the people who are disproportionately impacted by climate change. That's why we established a global farmer fund to help coffee farmers around the world, and a community resilience fund to support BIPOC communities in the United States.
For Netflix ourselves, we announced on March 30th our goal to achieve net zero emissions by the end of 2022. We'll do this by reducing our own emissions in line with climate science, and then invest in the power of nature to retain and remove carbon from the atmosphere. If you're familiar with the old adage, reduce, reuse, recycle, here's one for the modern era: reduce, retain, remove. We call this net zero plus nature.
At Amazon, we're committed to tackling climate change, which is why we co-founded the Climate Pledge, a commitment to be net zero carbon by 2040, 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. The Climate Pledge offers companies the opportunity to join a community of leading businesses, all committed to the transformational action that can protect the global economy from the disruptive risks associated with climate change.
At CVS Health, we believe the health of our planet is directly linked to the health of all people. Climate action is one of our key priorities, and we have made an ambitious commitment as part of our Science-Based Target Initiative to reduce our absolute Scope 1 and Scope 2 GHG emissions by 67% by 2030. We're also engaging our suppliers and have accordingly set a goal to reduce our absolute Scope 3 GHG emissions for purchased goods and services by 14%.
We have a tremendous responsibility and an incredible opportunity to build a better future. We believe that science-based approaches are the right way to address climate change, and that science-based targets are the best way to assure that actions line up with the best science available today.
To date, we have brought over 100 megawatts of solar and wind energy to the national grid to address our US footprint. And setting science-based targets has also allowed us to focus our efforts on our supply chain with energy efficiency investments at our supplier facilities and also lower carbon impact fibers in our products.
At IP, our entire business depends on the sustainability of forests. By exploring how forests can sequester more carbon through better forest management, we're looking at how forests can be a natural solution to climate change. When I look to the future, I see nothing but opportunity for collaboration and partnership in order to better manage, conserve, restore, and protect forests around the world.
I'm really excited about our goal. It's a 30% reduction in our supply chain greenhouse gas emissions per ton of products sold, and that's based on a 2017 base year, and we have until 2030 to meet the goal. We have the opportunity to have a really big impact. If you look at the amount of reductions we're looking at, it's roughly equivalent to the annual emissions of Switzerland. The goal really provides us an opportunity to partner with farmers, to work more closely with customers, looking to build on a lot of great work that's already been going on to address the most pressing issues of climate change.